How to convert PostgreSQL functions and queries to MS SQL. Database migration can often be a complex endeavor, but converting PostgreSQL functions and queries to MS SQL can be streamlined with the right approach. Whether you are migrating your entire database or just specific components, understanding the key differences and similarities between PostgreSQL and MS SQL will be immensely beneficial. Understanding differences between PostgreSQL and MS SQL. Before diving into the conversion process, it is essential to recognize some fundamental differences between PostgreSQL and MS SQL. Syntax variations. The syntax for functions, queries, and data types can differ significantly between PostgreSQL and MS SQL. Function definitions. PostgreSQL uses PL/PGSQL, while MS SQL employs T-SQL for procedural programming. Data types. There are variances in the data types supported by each database system which need to be reconciled during migration. Steps to convert functions and queries. 1. Assess and document existing functions and queries. Begin by thoroughly reviewing the existing functions and queries within your PostgreSQL database. Document each function, its purpose, and how it interacts with the data. This documentation will serve as a guide for the conversion process. 2. Match data types. Identify the data types used in your PostgreSQL database and find their equivalents in MS SQL. Some common data type conversions include: serial in PostgreSQL can be converted to identity in MS SQL. Boolean in PostgreSQL can be replaced with bit in MS SQL. Bytea in PostgreSQL converts to verbinary in MS SQL. 3. Convert functions. When converting functions, start by translating the procedural code from PL/PGSQL to T-SQL. Pay careful attention to the syntax and built-in functions as they may differ. Ensure that loop constructs, conditional statements, and exception handling are accurately adapted. Here's an example of a function conversion. PostgreSQL function. MS SQL equivalent. (4) Alter queries. Queries in PostgreSQL often need slight adjustments to be compatible with MS SQL. Ensure all table names, column names, and data manipulation statements align with MS SQL syntax. Pay close attention to joins, subqueries, and aggregate functions, as these can sometimes produce different results in MS SQL. Example of a query conversion. PostgreSQL query. MS SQL equivalent. 5. Test and validate. Once the conversion is complete, thoroughly test the functions and queries in the MS SQL environment. Validate that they produce the same results as in the PostgreSQL database. It is crucial to identify and rectify any discrepancies during this phase. 6. Optimize performance. Post-migration, it is advisable to review and optimize the performance of your functions and queries in the MS SQL database. Indexes, execution plans, and query tuning can help enhance performance and ensure your database runs efficiently. Conclusion. Converting PostgreSQL functions and queries to MS SQL involves careful assessment, documentation, and meticulous translation of data types, syntax, and functionalities. By following the outlined steps and best practices, you can achieve a successful and seamless migration of your database components.